We've all heard about cash secured puts or selling puts for weekly income. Even though it's a great strategy, these are three things I wish I knew before I started that have saved me a whole lot of headache, a whole lot of problems, and have made me sleep better at night. Number one, for you to understand this, you really first need to know what cash secured puts actually are. A cash secured put is when you actually sell options on a stock that you want to buy to potentially buy it at a lower price. You do this for two reasons. Number one, you want to actually buy the stock at a lower price, which is a reason some people do it. Warren Buffett is doing this in 1993 when he sold and made $7.5 million in profits doing this in 1993. So if you think this is a new method or a new concept, you are absolutely wrong. Hedge fund managers have been using this since the 80s or 90s. But now that you understand what cash secured puts are, like I said, the first reason people do it is to buy stocks at a cheaper price. Warren Buffett did it to get into Coca-Cola. The second reason people actually sell puts is for weekly income. And this is what I want to focus on. So some people want to retire from their job, and one of the safest way to do it, if you don't want to get into real estate or you don't want Airbnb or you don't want headaches, you want your cash to bring you cash. Cash secured puts is one of the best way to do this. And when I discovered this, my mind was blown. I thought I hit the holy grail, and I thought nothing could go wrong. But these are three lessons I wish I knew when I first started out that would help me actually balance my emotions and make more profits. Number one, you want to choose a delta of 0.30 or less. What is a delta? A delta actually tells you the probability of a stock going in your favor or a trade going in your favor when it comes to selling options. The true definition of delta actually is the percentage chance that particular stock is going to get to that price by the expiration date. So, for example, if you had a contract for next week and you sold a put at 100, if the delta is 0.30, that means that is a 30% chance that the put you sold at 100 is going to get in the money or the stock is going to get to that price by the expiration date for next week. The reason people know this and the reason this is important is that the lower the delta, the higher probability you have of profit. Or more or better way to say it is, or the better way to say this is the higher probability you actually get to keep the premium that you sell. That's the key. 0.30 is the magic code. But really, I like to be a little bit more conservative. I wish I told myself earlier that 0.30 sounds safe, but it's actually not the safest. If you really want the highest probability of keeping your cash, you want to stay under 0.20. That is what I found over the years of selling options, monitoring data, monitoring when the price moves, that you actually have one of the highest percentage chance one of the highest percentage chance of keeping your premium while balancing that with making as much money as possible. The second thing I wish I knew before I started selling puts is the stock matters. Yes, absolutely, the stock matters. Depending on the stock you use to sell cash secured puts, it affects the premium you collect, the amount you make on your money, and also the safety you have in the trade. So for me, as a general rule, if I'm going to sell cash secured puts, I want to make at least 1% on my money. What does that mean? That means if I can make 1% of my money, I can make anywhere from 5% to higher on a monthly basis. So in order to achieve this on a regular basis, I need to make sure that I'm looking at number one at the right delta, but number two, doing the math to make sure what I actually sell is going to make me that 1%. So that's super important that when you're selling, that you're choosing the right delta and the right stock to sell it. The reason why this is important is the higher the price of the stock, the less percentage you're going to make on your money. So for example, if your stock is $180 in price, what I've usually seen is that it's going to be harder for you to make 1% on your money than if you chose a stock that's, for example, $70. I'll give you an example. My very first cash secured put, I sold it on PLTR. But I made 11 with about 25 grand in capital for that week, for that trade I placed. Now today, that PLTR is around 160. If I take that exact same trade today at the exact same delta, instead of making $11 with that same capital, I'll probably make 400 bucks if I'm lucky. So the stock that you choose is actually important. So that's why if you notice, people who are selling are usually going for cheaper stocks. But the mistake you don't want to make is to pick penny stocks or stocks that are not good companies. So a general rule of thumb of is this. So a general rule of thumb of this is to stick to companies in the S&P 500. If they're in the S&P 500, it means that they're usually one of the top 500 companies in the United States. So selling options on them is usually okay. So that's lesson number two. Lesson number three that I found out while doing this is the importance of time. What do I mean by that? Sometimes you think that you're going to get the most premium by selling 2 weeks out or a month out. For my safety, I like to sell on Monday and get out on Friday because this does two things. Number one, I avoid any type of crazy news during the weekend. And number two, my premiums expire much faster. So I get to keep my money a lot faster and a lot quicker than if I'd sold 2 weeks out or 3 weeks out. That would make me panic or maybe get too much into my head. So I like to choose things, sell on Monday, get out on Friday. Worst case scenario, I'm going to get in on the Friday before, I'm going to get out on the Friday after. I've seen this work to my benefit the most because it balances the premium I'm going to get paid and the risk I'm. Here's a bonus tip for you, number 4. If you're going to be selling cash secured puts, one of the best things you can do is sell on ETFs or leverage funds. What does that mean? If you're selling puts on any single stock, you have single stock risk. So for example, if you're selling puts on Tesla, Tesla might come out with news today and it can crash the whole company, and that will screw up all your percentages no matter how safe you're trying to be. But if you sold on an ETF, let's say SOXL, which is the ETFs for semiconductors, no individual stock is going to tank that ETF. So now you get to keep more premium, you put it into a safer trade, and you get to sleep better at night. So those are the 4 tips I advise you to do. Number 1, look at the delta. Number 2, the stock you pick matters. Number 3, the timing you pick matters. And number 4, using ETFs. There's a lot more tips and lessons I learned when selling cash secured puts, but these are the 4 biggest that I wish I considered when I was starting out. If you want to learn more about this, what I want you to do is just drop your email below and grab a free worksheet where I go over my 5 favorite stocks to actually trade and sell options on. And of course, join the 5-day challenge below where I have 5 days with you breaking this down and sharing you step by step how to make weekly income from the market. So before I leave, here's a final tip for you to really know the power of this, because you might hear 2 to 5%, and that might not sound so amazing to you, but I want you to realize this. If you have $100,000 and you make 5% on your money every single month, that means that you make $5,000 a month on your money. Most of America don't have $5,000 a month in expenses. So you can actually retire on 100 grand. And you can do the math. If you have 200 grand, you can make about 10 grand a month. If you got about 300 grand, you can make about 15 grand a month. Relatively safely, getting in on Monday, getting out on Friday. So what you want to do is now have a goal ahead. What is your freedom number? Now that you know you have a safe way to make money in the markets and make 5% on your money relatively risk-free, what is that number for you? What do you have to hit to retire? Is it 100K? Is it 200K? Is it 300K? And by the way, the cash secured puts is a safe method to do this. Knock, knock, pardon the interruption. Listen, I usually don't do this, but I feel like it's super important to actually share this with you. One of the secrets to my wealth and success in business is somebody who's made millions online and in life is literally my relationship with God. The market is a very funny place, right? On top of the education, on top of the learning, there's a secret ingredient that I feel like is super important, and that's favor and wisdom from God. So I'd like to invite you into a personal relationship with God right now. If you don't have one, all you have to do is pray a simple prayer. Say, God, thank you for dying for my sins. I believe in you. I believe in my heart, and I confess with my mouth that you are God. And I ask you to guide me and lead me in all things around my life. So if you said that prayer, just type an amen below and reach out to me. You can email me for more resources and I can send you some more stuff. Okay, guys, back to the regularly scheduled content.